Welcome to another meeting of TVholics Anonymous.
My name is Ruru and I am a TVholic.
My name is Mimi and I'm a TVholic.
Okay, so today, let's welcome Mimi back because she hasn't been here for quite a while. So welcome back. How do you feel getting back on the proverbial horse?
The Bravo train. I'm back on the Bravo train, and well, it's been good because I love to watch Bravo, so I've had a bit to catch up on. So it's good to actually sometimes have like a big chunk to watch of stuff. But no, I'm excited. I think we're going to talk about the Summer House reunion.
Yeah, both episodes.
We'll just do...
Did we do the last episode actually of Summer House? I'm not sure. Anyway, we'll go, but we'll do this, and then I'll go back and have a look and see if we can go back and
so we're gonna do the reunion.
But before we get on with it, have you heard the news? Paige Desorbo.
Yes. Well, I kind of felt
Summer House.
I think the end of the reunion, they were kind of like bigging her up so much. You know, Amanda was crying and stuff.
No, I don't think they knew. I don't think they knew then.
I think maybe Amanda had a bit of an inkling, because that's why she was crying. Because why would you cry? Because she's so successful. Like, no, I think she had a bit of an idea.
Maybe,
she must have had. I don't know about Andy, and I don't know about everyone else, but I think Ciara and Amanda probably knew.
But I think it's such a dumb plan of hers, because like, how is she going to make her money apart from Giggly Squad? Like, she needs to be relevant constantly.
You've not been paying attention to Giggly Squad. They are so big. They've been on Fallon and everything like a couple of times.
No, I know that. I saw that clip.
But they are so big. It's bigger than Summer House. Summer House is not her.
I listened to a bit of Giggly Squad, but I don't find what's her name, Hannah. Like, I find her so annoying.
Yeah.
Like, Paige should just take over and just like ditch Hannah, because
but Paige is definitely she needs someone like as like I think it serves her well that Hannah's like so blah, blah, you know, and
I
she
also
can
hate
be
them
like
giggling every 5 seconds as well. I mean, that's just annoying, and it's just like it's like a forced laugh in between like everything they say. It's just like fake most of the time.
I don't know. I feel it more fake from Hannah than I do Paige, but
yeah, I think everything.
She's a fourth person. Hannah's a fourth person, so it's gonna be forced. It just feels like that.
Maybe she can get like Ciara instead, because Ciara's naturally like sarcastic.
She doesn't have a voice, but she's got a podcast with the cookie girl, Maya.
Let's be honest, she's the driest.
But their voice together on a podcast, I need to hear that. It must be so bad because they're so monotone and so like, you know, like disinterested.
I find Ciara entertaining as a person, so like I'd watch her.
She's dry in her voice. She is.
She is what?
Without the face, she's dry in her voice. Like it's like monotone as well.
Yeah, I guess.
So people keep saying, because Lexi's out as well. So
yeah, Lexi left as well.
One and done.
I knew
Emrul's out and done, one and done. So
yeah. Now I want them to get rid of those stupid boys, those two stupid kids that came along.
Not going to happen, because Kyle and Amanda are boring. Okay, we all know that. They have not, like, there's nothing going on there. Lindsay's going to be in and out of the Summer House, as she said. And Ciara is Ciara. I mean, throw in the guy for her so there can be a bit of interest there maybe, but she's a tough nut to crack now because she's been hardened by all these stupid idiots that she's gone out with.
Yeah.
And then who else is there? Gabby is obviously a nobody.
Lindsay is the child.
So yes, that's what I'm saying. So Lindsay's going to be in and out of Summer House. So okay, the options are, I've got some good options. So
no, wait, you got about Fragile Carl.
Oh, yeah, and he's like a non-starter as well. Like, I mean, we've got to get him going. He's just being rebooted, so we just need to get him going, like kickstart him a bit.
I think they need to bring back Luke from Minnesota.
Okay, so Luke is in the 40+ category now, so I don't think that's what they're going for. They're going for the new young people.
Young blood. Yeah.
But I don't know how old Emrul was. He's got older energy.
Oh, he was like 36 or something like that.
Yeah, I think he had older energy. So, okay, I've got a few options here. So Danielle is maybe here or there. I don't know. She might keep coming back and forth. But listen to my idea.
What?
Summer House Martha's Vineyard is cancelled, right? They all live in New York.
Merge them. That's the
They all
idea.
live in New
Yeah.
York. Get Jordan, get some people over.
Yes, you're so right. Let's merge them. Let's merge the summer houses together. Oh my
It's
God. If anyone from Bravo is listening, please listen to Mimi and like you need to
honestly
listen to what she's saying. Do it. Do it.
because they were a bit like Jordan had a bit of sparks in Winter House. She's single, so that's easy. And then
Yeah.
what's the other one with the German boyfriend? The German boyfriend needs to come in Summer House and create some like he's gonna have some issues with everyone. I can
Yeah,
imagine
he was
Kyle.
that
I can
guy was
imagine Kyle and the
crazy.
German guy like having big issues, like because you know, like he wants to dance all the time and Kyle wants to be the DJ, and you know, like there's gonna be some issues with that girl if she's still with him. What is her name? I can't remember. Okay, anyway, but they all live in New York, so it makes perfect sense. Even the
Yeah.
one that got pregnant with her stupid husband, who you know, who was an idiot, like he was like really controlling. The main
Oh
girl,
God.
I can't remember any of
Was
these
it
names. But
Jasmine
Jasmine, yeah.
and what's his name? Silas.
Well, yes, this is an evil
What
name.
a like kind of like demonic name.
Yeah, I know she's had the baby, but look, her and Lindsay can have jokes over their babies in the corner. You
Yeah,
know, they can have a little
they can
play
have a
date
caretaker for the
situation.
babies, like nanny for the babies,
They
look
can
after
play
both of the
together the
babies.
babies, and the other two can like hang out or whatever. Like honestly, it's such a good idea, but
But like you
hopefully
said, I
someone
think they're
listens.
going to probably do something in the city with these people, like maybe, hopefully, and then they can bring in that cost from um Martha Vineyard. I don't know why
Yeah,
they cancelled that show. It was so good. Makes no
yeah.
sense.
I don't understand why they actually cancelled it. I never really got
I think
clarity on
maybe because the demographic of Bravo is mainly white middle-aged women, so they
that.
probably weren't watching that, and that's a problem.
Yeah,
But then who's
maybe. Yeah,
watching
maybe the
Atlanta?
ratings. Maybe the ratings weren't good. But then, my
Who's watching
favorite,
Potomac in Atlanta?
Miami is starting now, and
Oh
apparently that has
yeah,
the lowest
yes, it might get cancelled
rating,
like
which is
everything else.
so. Please, how can they do that? They had the Scary Island thing when it came to that boat ride where they were all like throwing up and being weird. Do you remember?
Oh yeah,
Last season when they had that boat ride from hell where they were looking at all those scary kids hanging
yeah.
from the
When you said Scary Island, I just thought of Scary Island
New
in
York. Yeah.
New York. Yeah,
I'm comparing it because Scary Island New York was like epic, and I felt like that trip that they had to Mexico, wherever it was, where they were going through the boat journey, and they all wanted to scream and get off because they were hanging babies. Like it
yeah.
was wild. That episode. So I'm really hoping for good things this season
And
because
no, but also what's it called? That Scary Island. They did a part two when they did the Housewives trip. Remember?
oh yeah
And
yeah
they
they
brought
did
back
they
what's
did
her Kelly Ben Simone,
yes yeah
and
yeah
she flipped out again.
yeah I remember.
But
Okay, so should we get
you were
on
saying
to the
you need something interesting because of what?
I know. I think it's going to be interesting because obviously Todd and Alexia
Todd
are in and out,
broke
like
up.
they're back
Yeah,
together or
yeah. But
something.
I
Or
heard that they're back together as well. Like I just don't know what's going on.
I don't know when it filmed.
Help me
Obviously, it
out.
probably filmed last year, so they're probably broken up at this point. Um, when they're filming. So, but it will be interesting because the last thing we saw is obviously they were together. So this is going to be is there a new? I think there's a new housewife as well. So it's going
And
to
they
be
better bring back
exciting.
Adriana. She is.
Oh
I don't know
yes,
why she's not full time, and neither is well, I understand why the other what's her name,
Marisol.
Marisol. She's
Yeah.
not
She's
the.
got nothing going on apart from being an alcoholic or pretend
Oh
alcoholic, or
yeah,
don't know what's going on.
I think she's a fake alcoholic. What do you think?
Like, who wants to be
I
a
think
fake alcoholic? Like, that is the
I think
saddest
she
point in
thinks
your
that
life.
she thinks she's like really like iconic by doing
Lean
that.
all
She's
the
like,
way in. If you want to be fake alcoholic, just do the real thing. Be an alcoholic. I mean, Adriana is just, I think, again, she has nothing really going on in her life. So that's why
but she's
she
so
can't
funny.
be.
Like
I think the
she's
full
so
time.
entertaining.
No, I think the full time cast have to have something in their actual life, like with their families and stuff going on.
I
Um,
want to see Adriana's kid. Like, how did he grow up? And I want to see Leah back in the mix because I find her really annoying and everything. But I just want to see what she's up to. I want to see what her kid has become. I want to see what Adriana's kid has become. You
I
know,
did a deep dive ages ago on Adriana and her kid, and I don't really think they have much of a relationship.
They were so close before. That's sad.
I might be making it up completely, but I mean, I think from what I
We've got to
remember,
find
it
this
was
out.
like I think he's got close, like his because he's obviously got his like his dad. I don't know. I don't even
Daddy
remember
issues,
hearing
probably.
much about his dad. I
Yeah,
don't know.
but remember she said that she was like living with him, and then he went on a business trip, and she got a phone call from like someone saying that, like asking for him, and then she found out that he was like basically cheating on her with like multiple women while he was married to her, and she was like in his home,
Yeah, I
you
don't
know.
know. Yeah.
So she was married to him, and then she found out he had like multiple women. Like he kept saying he's going on business trips, and
Oh yeah,
like
yeah,
he
yeah.
had
God,
multiple
that's like
women,
pre
and
this
multiple kids, I think.
redo. That's many years ago. God.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So should we get on with Summer House then?
Yeah, okay. Oh, Summer House. Now let's do
Reunion.
the first episode of the reunion.
Part 1, yeah.
Yeah.
So we all kick off with
What did you think about the stage?
yeah, so that's what I'm going with this. So
Okay.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, I think they could have done a
It
better
was
job.
messy and like
Yeah, but they could have done a better job. They could have actually had like
in the
beds,
bed.
like two beds each, and I think that would have been better.
Yeah, I didn't
Lying
like it.
down,
It just looked like a mess in the middle of the room. Like, no, I
yeah,
was feeling it.
just that thing in the
Um,
front was like gross.
yes.
Yeah,
So then they all come in. Paige just says like she's excited to gossip. Ciara, I noticeably gives like Lexi. I feel like she gave her the stank eye from the beginning. Like she's just not feeling Lexi at all. She just gave
yeah,
her
but
a look
Lexi
up and down.
she kind of does deserve it a bit as well because she
I
keeps
don't know.
bringing them up and she
We'll, we,
keeps
we'll
blaming
get
Ciara as
we'll
well
get into it. I think her use is like
indirectly.
yeah, yeah. Um, Kyle
Remember, try
is
not to say and because
oh
it
yeah.
sounds really terrible in the podcast.
Okay. So Kyle is mentioning that he's shocked that he's sitting next to Lindsay for the first time, which I didn't even notice as well. But they normally are usually beefing, which is true. They're normally
Yeah,
beefing, 'cause they're
and
never
he
together.
doesn't really like her anyway. Let's be honest.
I don't know.
He's never liked her.
I think they've put a band-aid over it. I think that they've like I
Yeah,
think they're in a
you're
better
right.
place. I think it
Yeah,
is a brother-sister relationship, and I think they just really irritate each other. But then when it's good, like it's good. But there is always that chance that that someone's going to say something and they're going to get
yeah, because
riled
they're
up
very
about it.
reactive people.
Yeah.
Both
I
highly
think
reactive.
Kyle's more reactive at the moment. I think Lindsay has grown up a lot. Like I think I
Yeah,
think
motherhood.
something that Kyle, I didn't think Kyle can trigger as easily, whereas I think Lindsay could still possibly trigger Kyle.
Yeah.
But actually, having said that, Lindsay has taken so many digs at Kyle, and it's not like Kyle has stuck up. I thought in the past Kyle would be like, "Why are you doing that to my friend? Like it's not fair, and
But
stuff." But
also the
he
relationship
didn't.
between him and Carl has been fractured so many times. Like Kyle
Yeah,
and Carl. Like so I don't think it's like what it used to be, so I don't
yeah,
think they
yeah,
stand up for each other that much anymore
yeah.
in that
What do you
way.
think about Amanda and Kyle? Amanda being in the first seat.
She never needs to be in the first seat of any reunion ever. She is
Exactly.
the most more boring, dry person,
I
and all
know
she does is
why.
Kyle, Kyle.
Literally, she had no
Why?
storyline apart from the baby thing, which we'll get into. But I mean, like, what is? She does not have first seat energy. She's not that person.
Yeah, she needs to be right at the back, right at
But
the
there were
end.
no other options. I would rather have put Ciara there. Could have been there
Yes, Ciara
more than
had to be there.
Amanda.
Everything was about Ciara, basically. Ciara, like, in
No, it was
every.
Lexi and Jessie, but she was part of that mix, and I think they intentionally didn't want to put Jessie and Lexi into it because I think everyone got pissed off by the end of their back and forth
Yeah,
constantly.
I think, yeah, but also Ciara had, like, a lot. No, I don't
Lexi
know.
was
She
never
had a
going to
good
be
season.
there. She's a first season, and they're kicking her out anyway. Jesse is he's just too much for that first seat. So I think Ciara would have been a better option.
Yeah, you're right.
So Andy goes around, obviously does his questioning of her, like,
Now, what did you think about
"Hi,
Andy's outfit?
how are you?" I didn't even notice it. What was?
Wasn't he wearing a robe or something?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, he came in and he was like Jenna Lyons, not the only one that could pull
Yeah,
it off or something. Because she wore a robe, didn't she, for her last
yeah.
reunion with that
Because I feel like that's great for him because he's always tired and he could just like when he's always on in the breaks he's always on his phone. He could just like snuggle up a bit like that and fall
Yeah.
asleep while he's just
Yeah,
like
he can
waiting for them to
he could
get
have
back
just
from the toilet break.
rolled onto the bed and just like fallen asleep.
But there was
Had
no bed.
some breast milk and gone to sleep, you know. So basically Andy says to Ciara, "Oh, you and Carl are sitting next to each other, like trying to
Oh
insinuate."
my God, gross.
No one ever is thinking this. But he's like, "Is this a soft launch?" And
Oh my God.
didn't know what to say. She was like stumped. She was like, yeah, I
Oh,
guess. And of a relationship, yeah. And Lindsay had to take a jab, right? She was like in the back. She said, "Oh, that's
yeah, but
Carl's
she said
favorite word."
yeah, but she
Oh,
said yeah. So does that mean they are like seeing each other, dating, or what? The
no, I think she was
why does
just
she say
like
yeah?
she was trying to spin it, like yeah, like she was trying to play along with the joke, but it was just didn't really hit. There's
Yeah,
no chance, like
yeah.
no chance. Um,
His
so then
current state of weirdness. He's
Lindsay's
not gonna
asked,
bag anyone.
yes,
Yeah,
Lindsay's asked about Gemma, and she says that she's at the reunion. Um, so she's there with her. West just always looks shocked, like he looks scared all the time. I just
because he always does terrible things, and he's a terrible human being.
I don't think
So,
it's about being a terrible human being. I think he's
and he's
just got
boring
such
as
a
hell,
shell of a person. I think he's just like really like not very has no confidence.
entertaining,
Just there's a
and
wet
he's not.
person.
Yeah, but he's also really boring, and he's not
So
good for
boring. And
TV.
it's emphasized so much when he's on these reunions. His personality is like at the
He's like
right at the
dead.
bottom. He's got nothing. I'll even say
Yeah,
that bit about Jesse as well. They have no comebacks. They're not very TV
they're
people.
not.
They just
Yeah,
have banter with themselves on TV. So it's
yeah.
they're on the right program for that because it's just a camera like recording their banter, and everyone can have banter with their friends. But I mean, I think
Jesse's
they're
very
just not
boring as
TV
well,
people. They are boring in the reunion when Jesse's asked questions and stuff, he has no like witty comeback, and he's just not. I don't
and
know.
he's just placating. He's just saying what
Yeah,
other like what he thinks the audience wants to hear. That's
definitely.
what I think because like it's so rehearsed, both of them, like Jesse and West. Like I
Yeah.
just can't. Ugh,
West West
like
has
gross
got the
me out.
energy of like Tom Shorts, like I'm a scared little boy energy.
Yeah,
You know,
I
like
think
everyone's gonna
he
be mean to me in the reunion. Ooh!
yeah he's
That
just copying him.
no one
And
gets far with
I don't
that.
want none of that.
Yeah,
Do you want
he
any of
can't.
that energy?
He just can't string sentences together. And obviously, Andy in the beginning is like, cusses him out for the fact that last season at the reunion he was so bad. But he really can't like put words together and make sentences. It's a problem.
Yeah, and his stupid motto was like, "I'm gonna talk. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
talk
Oh yeah,
this
yeah. He said that.
this
I'm gonna
reunion.
talk.
Remember to talk. Remember to speak." Like
Yeah.
something dumb like that. Like, please, we don't need you on our
If you
screens.
have
You
no
are so
opinions and
boring.
you've got nothing to like any comeback, then you're like
And
a
I'm
spineless
sorry, but they're
person.
not
He's
good
a
looking
spineless
either.
person.
Yeah,
Hmm?
and they're not good looking either. Like at least give us some eye candy for the like TV screens. Like neither of them. One looks like the Cowardly Lion from Wizard of Oz, and the other one looks like a like a scarecrow.
The Joker. I don't. No, he looks like the.
Scarecrow to me. He looks like a scarecrow, a hanging scarecrow. Like go and
Ugh.
hang outside in a field.
His
Okay,
eyes are
bye.
all rolled up to the back of his head because he's probably high, and his mouth is like the
Yeah,
size of the width of his face. So it's
yeah.
scary. It's scary.
It's scary. It's like he could be on that Smile film where that Smile demon comes and kills basically
What is that?
it kind of like it possesses people and then
What
like
movie is that?
they turn around
Is that a horror movie?
yeah like this
Oh,
like that and then they start killing people. Okay, you gotta watch that. It's on Netflix. Okay, and the Smile it just like possesses people and it's like
there's
and they
something that
turn
I've
around.
watched where there's like these people that come in like that, and like they're hovering, flying in the with their feet. Like I don't know. Okay, I'm going to think about that.
Hovering flying with it. You mean the flying monkeys in Wizard of Oz? We're going back to Wizard of Oz.
No, there's like this demon that smiles and is like this, and it comes in. Is it like a reaper or something? Okay. Anyway, never mind. So we then Andy goes to Paige, and They actually have like a whole segment about Craig, but they do touch upon it right now. And he was just basically saying that obviously you relived the whole experience of your breakup and like your feelings going back and forth about Craig throughout the summer, and we saw
Yeah.
that on camera. He was just asking, were you open with Craig during that time as well? Did he know how you were feeling? And she basically said, it's not like I just broke up with him. We'd gone back and forth over a year before we actually I came to the decision to break up. So
And
again,
that's
Craig's
contrary to
timelines
what
just
Craig was saying.
yeah. So again, Craig's timeline's bullshit. We all know he's a liar. I'm a great liar. Like, we know it, Craig. You proved your point. Like, stop.
Yeah.
Like,
Craig, you're a fake ass bitch. Okay, you're a fake ass bitch. Get off my screen. Bye. Get off my screen. You don't need to be on my
yeah.
screen. And take that.
And she basically said the reason why I announced it when I did, because I was also question marking the fact that um did she just go on her podcast and say that I've broken up with him without telling Craig? But she did kind of explain the situation that, look, I said that I told him we're gonna do this because he went out on a ski trip and was acting single, and then it looks like he's cheating on me. So I didn't want that whole shit, which is nice. I didn't want that whole story to be
Yeah,
spun
yeah.
like that. So
Fair
I
enough.
just said, like, we have broken up, so he can do what he wants. So fair enough. Like, she actually went about it the right way. So
What
and then
happens
they
is,
also said about the ring, and Andy asked, do you actually think that the ring wasn't? She was like, yeah, 100% the ring didn't exist. And
yeah, that's what I thought immediately. I've never trusted anything that's come out of Craig's mouth since I watched him on the first season of Southern Charm.
yeah,
Because he was lying through his teeth there. And
yeah,
I
poor
thought, this man
Naomi.
there's something wrong with him.
Poor Naomi.
You like, you,
Naomi.
you didn't want these two to break up. Remember when I kept saying every year I mean,
Paige.
last year I was like, oh, they need
No,
to break up. Why can't they
they
break
did.
up?
Admittedly, Paige did a good job of like hiding, or she did try and work
Yeah,
her
but that's
magic, and like
weird. Like,
she's
why
yeah,
would you
but
hide all this stuff?
that's her problem. Like, she's got her own issues of like how she's
Yeah,
accepting all that bullshit. But
yeah,
I also going back to the ring thing. Kyle made a good point that he said on Watch What Happens Live, like a year later, he bought the ring, that he just literally after Watch What Happens Live, just before that, oh, I was here in New York and I gave the ring back to the people who I got it from.
yeah.
No one can you return anything a year later, let alone a bloody ring, engagement ring. That was such a good point that you couldn't have done that. Oh, there's no one waiting for your thousands of pounds or your like 20 grand worth of your ring, waiting to get a receipt. Like, here's the receipt. I bought something a year later. You can't do that anywhere.
Yeah,
You
but
can't
guess
even
how you
return a
know when he's
pillow.
lying? You can tell. His tell is when he
So
starts to get into like a lot of detail. When people
yeah,
get into a lot of detail about something, it's normally a lie because
yeah,
they're trying to like cover it up.
yeah. He's but also, having said that, he is like, he doesn't blink when he lies as well, which is scary. Like, he's a
Yeah, yeah,
psychopath.
he's scary. He's scary.
So
He needs to be not on TV. Like, we don't need a platform for people like that. Okay, there's something wrong with that man.
well, I
Okay?
mean,
Get off my
yeah.
screen. Bye, bye, bye.
Um, but we don't watch Bravo to see normal people, like sane people. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I don't want sane people, but I also don't want like he was basically emotionally abusive the whole time in his relationship to Naomi and to what's her name, Paige.
yeah. So then we go on to the first segment, official segment, which is the Ciara and West segment, which I'm really actually happy about. Have you noticed in all the reunions so far, like this year, or at least over the last few seasons of things, they don't flash back in like a big segment. They just do like really small flashbacks now.
Yeah.
They're not long. Like, normally they would be like a minute long reel, but it's not. Anyway, they flash back. But the most important part of the reel was, did you see, because you never saw it originally, the man boobs, West man boobs?
What?
Because they flashed
When?
back to that conversation where he was talking to Ciara when he was on the bed and she was
Uh,
standing, and
And what happened?
everyone
What
cussed
they were
him out
talking
about his
about?
nipples. Remember?
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
And
Okay.
they did
He is
flashbacks.
podgy. He's quite podgy. Okay. He doesn't want to
He's
handle
got
his podginess.
it's
He's just one
actually.
more hamburger away from, like obesity.
I
No
don't know.
offense.
I think it's
No,
his.
no
I
offense.
think it's his
But
football. He used to be a former football player, like
I want
football.
to be rude to him because he has been horrific to Ciara, in my opinion. That's why I'm being rude to him. Okay? No other
Yeah,
reason. I'm
you're
not
doing
trying
a
to body
Gabby.
shame
You're
him.
doing a Gabby where you're
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
Having his big teeth,
Girl power. Yeah, girl power,
Exactly.
basically.
Exactly. So basically, then Wes proceeds to like ramble on about his big apology to Ciara, and like I didn't think that my interview with that would cause all these problems, and I didn't think it would go that way, but having watched it back, it's so convenient having watched
Yeah.
it back.
And I'm such a poor little boy.
Yeah.
Where? Okay, no.
Yeah. He
Fuck off,
basically
Wes.
he rambled on, and maybe the first part of his rambling was decent, but then he just keeps going on and on and on and on. And literally Paige had to say, like, I think that's too much, like sharp.
Yeah,
Like
it
I'm
was
so glad that she
getting
said
way too much, and it wasn't even making any sense. And then he kind of like doubled back and like just shat all over everything he said as well. Like
yeah.
that's what I love about these two dummies. Yeah, is that if you give them enough rope, they'll hang themselves, both of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so
He
that
literally did that. He literally
yeah.
hung himself.
So
He
I feel like if we could get them to hang themselves, like if they have to be on next season,
to get them
I'm
out.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a way
hopefully
to get
they
them
can
out.
hang themselves. Yeah.
The flashback, they flash back to apparently that dinner, that first dinner that where Ciara went in on West, and he had nothing to say. He even got up for 20 minutes and then came back and had nothing to say. Like he's literally an empty vessel. Like
Yeah, yeah, he is. He
he
is.
cannot
Dummy.
defend himself. He cannot speak up for himself. He cannot have an opinion. Why are you there? Like,
And why the hell did the New York Times or whatever it was, gave him a huge kind of like a huge like segment in their
article, yeah.
article basically. Like I
But that's
don't
what
understand
Ciara.
what is interesting about this man. Like he's like useless. He's literally useless.
That's what Ciara said, like in the reunion after. She was like, my point is that if you can say so much to the media, why can't you say something to my face when I ask you? Like at
Exactly,
the summer house,
exactly.
I'm like confronting you, you've got nothing to say. It's because he's a
Yeah,
pussy.
yeah,
He's a keyboard warrior. He's the definition of a keyboard warrior. He
yeah,
can't say he like comes up with these elaborate plans of like, I'm gonna spin this and do an interview to make myself look really good. That's all planned.
yeah.
When he's in front of you, he can't plan nothing. He's got no time to plan anything. And he's
Yeah,
like literally a
that's when
pussy.
he turns on pussy mode. Okay,
Yeah.
pussy
Yeah.
mode is activated, and he's like, I'm scared.
But what I hate with Ciara is that there's always a window of opportunity. Like then Andy
Because
asks,
of her
"Oh,
daddy issues.
what do you think of Andy? What do you think of his hair today?" And she's like, "It's better. It's not better. It's not
No, it's
better.
never better. Like,
Why
there's
are you
nothing you can
giving him
do.
something to hold on to? Like if anything is worse, it gets worse and worse
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah.
So let's not give him something like just because you feel
He's
bad for
gross.
him. Kept saying throughout Summer House, and even now, I still get the feeling that she feels bad for him. Like,
Yeah. But
please, there's nothing to
it's
feel
because
bad
that's
about.
only because of her daddy issues, okay? And that's why she needs a hug, okay? Someone needs to go and give her a hug, and
Well,
someone needs to push West off the stage, okay?
yeah.
Exit left.
Well,
Bye.
well,
Bye.
they do end up breaking down the whole how everything went wrong with West and Ciara because basically West was like, "Well, you ghosted me as well, so you need to take the responsibility for that as well." And she was like, "Look, it was
Oh
during
God, that was
December.
so
It was
sad.
during a bad time. Like I hate December. I hate Christmas. It's my birthday as well, and I just want to avoid that whole month and just get through it because she has no family. Basically, she's saying like my
Yeah.
mum remarried." When I was talking to West, she ended up remarrying someone, and I hate the relationship she's in. She's remarried a few times. It never goes well, and it's always like up and down. My dad has his own family now, and so she was like, I have no one during Christmas time, basically. I don't know where I go or who to be with, or she just feels in the middle.
And she
So
went
she
to
said,
Costa Rica.
yeah, she went to Costa Rica. She just switched off her phone, and West was like, I was trying to contact you, and you ghosted me. So he's trying to put it back on her, and she's explaining
Yeah,
why.
fucking
Um,
dickhead.
and to be fair, I felt so bad because she was like, I just
Yeah,
didn't want to burden him. Like, it's Christmas time and I didn't want to make him feel like he had to invite me places, which is so sad.
yeah.
Um, but
That
if
really
that's how
was
you
sad.
feel about the person, then you know that ain't the right person. Because he
And you
would
know
just
what?
naturally do that.
That's really sad because none of her friends on that stage invited her to Christmas, and they
Well,
should know.
I don't know. I don't
They
know
all look
about
a
that.
bit shocked, but
I'm sure they know, but I think, no, I'm sure they do know, but, and they probably do attempt to, but they just know that she needs to shut off during that time. But West just wasn't in the know, I guess.
no,
Like,
because
he
they
didn't
all
know
look
that.
shocked. And Andy said that, didn't any of you guys know about this? And they were like all looking shocked. They all look like they didn't know. Maybe she kept it to herself all this time. Like,
I mean, we knew about her dad stuff
yeah.
to that degree, but we
But
didn't really
hopefully
know
they
about my
do.
mum.
Like, I feel like they should be inviting her. Like,
Yeah. And then she
me
goes, and
personally,
then,
I would.
yes.
It's
And
not
then
going to hurt
after,
anyone to invite her.
yeah, but I
So,
think she just, I don't mean, I don't know. I think they probably have I don't think they probably were shit in the way that they just ignore her that whole time. I think they just also know that she needs to do her own thing um during that time. But I don't know if they know the extent of like the stuff with her mum and stuff. So then Andy asks, is this why you're, now that you've explained, is this why you're so like guarded with your relationships and stuff? And she's like, yeah,
yeah.
well, like I don't want to repeat the same mistakes that I like, the same kind of issues that I have. Like I want to find a quality partner. If I have a kid with them, I want them to basically stick around. I don't want to damage them like
Yeah.
I feel
That's
like
really
I've been
good.
damaged. I
But
don't
I
want to
feel
ruin the
there's a lot of
cycle.
growth there. I feel like
But
it's
it's not
been so much
happening.
growth.
There's no growth because her picker is still off. Like
Yeah, but I
that's
feel
why.
like she
Oh, is
knows. She's
that why you
identified the
chose?
issue.
Is that why you chose Austin?
No, but I feel like she's I think she talked about how she's going to therapy and stuff. So I feel like she's identifying the issues. It's a slow, once people mess you up in childhood,
Real
it's a
slow.
slow, yeah, it's a very slow, like, like progress chart that you have to like
But I
go
think
through.
like Austin is a walking red flag. There's no sign of part of him that suggests that he's not even
He's
trying
a
to cover
terrible
it up.
person.
He's not even trying to cover it up.
Yeah,
So
but so
he's worse than
Craig is the
Wes.
same way. Craig and Shep.
No, but at least he tries to cover up with lies. Craig. Austin
And the
doesn't.
other old man. Who's the other old
Austin doesn't
Whitney?
try and cover up with lies. So Craig's trying to cover up with his great lying, but Austin is like, or he like pretends like he's not drinking anymore, trying to make changes and things like that. But Austin is like,
What's his like? Oh,
bro,
nothing, no
he's
nothing.
all over you. Like, what is great about him? Like, you're drowning every
No,
time you talk to him,
women just like him because he's tall, but newsflash, he's also ugly as hell.
and he's
He's
also getting
ugly. He's
oranger.
ugly.
He's turning into Trump.
He's
This
he's
season
getting
he was at
orange
some
as
house. He
Trump.
was
I was
extra
gonna
orange.
mention that. Like he's getting oranger, just like
No,
Trump.
and he had the tan
Oh,
eye tan line.
the
It
goggle
was really
tan.
bad.
The goggle tan. Okay. Yeah.
It was
The goggle
it's
eye.
really bad. So
Yeah.
Ciara, like double down on the therapy, get 3 sessions a week, speed up the process so that you can
Yeah.
get the result you want and you get that man you want, and hopefully something good comes your way with relationships. I pray for you.
Yeah. What happened next? Let's find out.
So then, oh, by the way, during that whole segment of Ciara talking about her family issues, did you notice Kyle was like crying?
Oh
Like
yeah, Kyle's
genuinely.
always extremely
He's always
emotional, but
getting,
he
yeah, he
always cries
does.
every season. He cries about something, but it doesn't take much to trigger that man. He's always
Yeah.
he's like reactive as hell.
Yeah. Then West, after all that spiel, West, just shut your mouth. He has to pipe up and be like, well, all those things you said about those qualities of a man you want, I just don't think I'm there yet. It's like, stop trying to excuse your
God,
behavior. That's why I broke up with you and I didn't want to be with you because you want a man like this and I'm just not capable. I'm a little boy still.
he's a waste
Shut your
man. So
mouth.
we don't need him. He's a waste. Okay,
You just literally
get
went
out.
10 steps back. She said your hair looked good, like, and now you've gone 10 steps back. I mean, please,
Well, I'm not gonna
shut your
waste my
mouth.
breath on those two losers anymore. I can't because
Yeah. Then
yeah,
we go into a break, and Lexi tries to like extend an olive branch, and she goes over to Ciara and is like, "That was really strong of you that was really strong for you to say all that stuff. Like, I really hope like you're okay and blah blah blah." And
yeah.
Kyle,
I thought that was a bit of bullshit. I
I
think
don't
maybe
know.
she felt it in the moment, but then she also did, badmouth her the whole time as well. So like, I just
No, but I think you can feel like when someone opens up like that, no matter
yeah,
what
you
you've
can feel,
gone through,
yeah,
I
you
think you can
can.
just feel
But
bad.
also, I understand why Ciara just didn't really take that seriously because she's been chatting shit about her the whole time as well. But also, Ciara was doing some weird, dodgy stuff behind her back as well. So
Yeah, we're gonna
yeah,
get we all get
yeah,
into it.
yeah,
So then basically then they just joke about in the break how Kyle was crying and he always cries about Ciara stuff, and Paige and Amanda like he never cries for us. and then Andy's like, it's because you're always crying, probably. Like,
yeah. That's so true.
and
That's so
it's
true.
so
Like I
true.
mentioned.
Kyle, you
Yeah.
didn't try my avocado dip or whatever it is that she's obsessed with. And did you remember, did you see that part where Andy got butt dialed by LVP?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That was weird.
That was funny. Maybe it was a little plug.
I don't know. I don't think it was a plug. I don't think the housewives pay him to plug them.
No, I mean, it's true, she doesn't need plugging, but are we gonna watch Vanderpump, the new?
What new Vanderpump? Yeah, we're
New
gonna
season?
probably have to.
Yeah.
Probably gonna have
By
to.
the way, just a FYI, Vanderpump Villa,
Yeah,
which we don't watch, right?
yeah.
But
Because we can't watch it in Europe, can we?
no,
I
I
don't think
can.
it's on. Oh,
You
is it
can.
on
It's
what?
on Hey You.
Is it? I haven't seen it on
Yeah,
Hey You.
it is on Hey You.
Vanderpump Villa. Okay, I'll search it. I doubt it is, but
But
maybe it's on
there's
something
a
else.
funny crossover because I'm watching Secret Lives of Woman Wise, and there's a crossover between Vanderpump Villa and Secret Lives of Woman Wise. There's like a whole drama between those two programs. They had a crossover. Anyway,
Okay,
that's
but
just
isn't
saying.
Vanderpump Villa
Anyone
in like
interested?
France or something? I swear it's in like France,
I don't
and
know.
there's some weird like Euro trash people on there.
I don't know. No,
Like
but
they're
there's
really
has to be
horrible people
American.
apparently. They're like just as bad as like Vanderpump people and like Southern Charm people and like everyone put together.
I don't know actually. I don't actually know the setting. I've heard that as well. That I thought it was like that as well. In some sort of, but I'm having a feeling that it's not actually like the setting looks like that, but I think it's in like Northern California, like Napa, like country, so that it looks like a vineyard in like I don't know. I really have no idea, but
Okay, we'll have a
yeah,
look
we'll
at
have
that as
to
well.
get some more information on that. Oops,
Yeah,
link fell. Okay, so then we go on to Emrul coming in. So we
yeah.
welcome
But that was
Emrul.
weird because he was on from basically the beginning. I know it was like one or two episodes in that he came in, but like why couldn't they put him in? Like I personally feel like it wasn't right the way that they just put him in for like a little while in the reunion and the way that he was just like like dragged out and then dragged off. Like it was weird and it was not. They
Do
haven't
you
done that
think
to anyone
do you
else.
think it's just their Bravo choice, or do you think he also wanted to do that because of all the
No,
backlash?
I think it was Bravo. But why? Because why would you want to make yourself look different from everyone else on the cast? Like you always want to fit in when you're on a new show.
Yeah, but I don't know if I think because he's got so much backlash, especially from like extended family and stuff. I think maybe he
No, I
even
don't
made
think.
the decision
No, I
to.
don't think he made that
Do you
decision.
think
I
he
think that's
cared?
always producers. They always like have that final say of what's going on the stage and who comes in, who comes off,
Yeah,
where people sit
I
and
guess
stuff
you're
like that.
right. Yeah, I don't think he has the power to say that
Yeah,
anyway. If they wanted him to be on the whole time, he would be, and if
yeah,
they would have forced the issue, and if they wanted him to not be, yeah, I think
yeah,
you're right. You're right. So he comes in, and basically the whole narrative, the whole conversation is about that. Do you think, Andy asked, do you think you were pigeonholed into this orgy beast thing that
yeah,
Western Jesse named him? And he basically said, look, I can't really do much about it because that's what I led with. Like I came
yeah.
in talking about that sex party I went to. And I basically leaned into it and I didn't really show much more of my life. Like I probably should have and made
Yeah.
more friends. But he was like, it was the first time I'd done something like this. So I was quite nervous. So I just leaned into what I knew and made that my
Well,
thing, my personality. But I should have just. I don't think he
leaned
got the
into what he
premise.
knew. What orgy parties?
Yeah, like that
That's
that he likes sex, and that's what his thing is. So he was like, you made
okay.
more of my personality, and I basically was nervous. He basically said I was like kind of nervous. I
Yeah.
didn't know what to do, but I didn't know what really to do.
Well, in that segment, I felt bad for him and I felt also disgusted by him all at once. So I just don't know what to make of him. I do want to see him next season on the show because I just want to
I think he
see
would
him
be
get like
different.
a second chance kind of thing. Yeah, I think he deserves a second chance because he kind of did, like he said, got pigeonholed, and I would just want to see where his story goes from here.
Yeah,
And
I
also, I
think
don't want
there's.
him to get deported because I know they've got like a terrible issue right now in America. Like ISIS taking over the whole of Los Angeles and stuff like that. Like
Mhm.
and everything. So I feel like keep him on the show to keep him in the country as well.
Yeah, I think that he is. I think it wasn't the best, obviously, first season, but I think there is more to come from him, and I think he would do it
Yeah.
differently as well if he came
And
next
I feel like he's
season.
an onion. I feel like there's more layers to peel on
Oh
him.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously you mentioned about how he got disinvited from his family, his nephew's party and stuff because his
Yeah. But you can
sister-in-law's family
I
weren't really
can
happy.
imagine that because like religious people don't condone anything to do with, you know, sex and orgies and things like that, you know. So I understand that.
Of course.
And his lifestyle. Yeah.
So then, and to be fair, at the end, Lexi does say, like, look, maybe to be fair, we could have asked you more questions. Like, we didn't really, like, I'm sure there's more to you. And everyone kind of smiles and nodded.
Yeah.
So I
And
mean,
at the
I
end,
don't think
they
anyone's
don't
got
care.
hard feelings. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't think anyone's got any hard feelings, like any major issues with him.
Yeah, but they also don't. They're not really friends with him either. I don't think.
Yeah,
I don't think they hang out with him ever. Like since the show wrapped.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then we move on to Jesse. Andy talks about how he fell hard for Lexi after 24 hours.
Blah blah blah.
And
We already know that story. We can fast forward this.
he was like,
We
he
don't
got
care.
excited. Then he was trying to go woe is me because he was the only girl he was ever in love with the girl that he was with in high school. And he was about to say, did you catch that moment where he was about to say the girl I effed in high
Yeah,
school?
yeah. But he basically
Look,
did say it and acting like
yeah,
he's such a gentleman and this and that, and he didn't want to carry on saying it. And I just can't stand
yeah.
him. He's
And
just so
then
fake.
and Andy asked West, have you ever seen him fall head over heels with anyone? And it's like, West has known him for a year. Please. He doesn't know
Yeah, they're
nothing
acting
about
like they're so
Jesse.
like yeah
That
that
there's,
like they've been bros for like
yeah.
years.
And then obviously West jokes around and says, yeah, I have seen him fall head over heels for people, Ciara and Paige. Like, I don't think that stuff is necessary. I mean, I know Lexi has obviously longed this stuff out.
Yeah.
And look, if we put it into context, they were together for 3 weeks and it was so stupid. But I think if she actually
No,
still
were
did
they
have
together for 3 weeks? I feel like they were.
whatever the holiday, whatever the summer house was, like whatever the
I
extent
think
of
about
that,
like 5 weeks or something like that. 5, 6 weeks. That's a lot.
whatever it is. But however stupid or naive she was, she obviously did. It feels like she did still really like him, and if she wanted, they could have been together for longer. She cut it off, obviously, but Jesse would have stayed in there, and they would have been together for longer. And I just don't feel like West. All these little digs where they're like, "Oh, Jesse loves Paige and Ciara, like he would be with them, like he's gonna try it with Paige next summer and all this." It's really, I do feel it is like, and everyone laughing about it. I do feel like it's a
Yeah.
bit mean to her.
And it's
I
a bit
do like.
bully. It's bully. It's giving
It's
me
giving
bully.
bully. It's
Yeah.
giving bully. Yes.
Yeah.
I do think that it's unnecessary. So then for them to keep saying like, well, you're mean to us, like you are taking jabs at her. Like
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
is a bit of like a
You're right. You're 100% right.
mean girl thing. So I think all that stuff is unnecessary. And obviously, so understandably, Lexi's giving like the look when West says stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then there's a question from the viewer that asks, "Oh, Jesse, were you just with Lexi because she's hot or because you actually liked her?" And he's like, "No, contrary to popular belief, I really did like her. She's good looking. She's got great eyes. She's got a
Yeah,
great
you
body.
dummy.
Like
Just answer
that's
the question
superficial.
wrong. You dummy. Okay. Also, that dummy. Like I feel
He's
like
so dumb. He's actually
yeah,
dumb.
he's just like he doesn't listen to the questions. Like he did that on Watch What Happens live as well. Like he wasn't listening. He was in his own little world, you know, like with a giant like psychotic smile and like I
He
don't.
needs
It
to
needs
be
to
a
be
bit
off
more
my screen.
present. Be a bit more present. Like he's like in another world. Like
Yeah, and
honestly,
also he was punching. Okay, basically he's punching way above his like his you know
he doesn't
his
think so.
level. He is really, really not good looking, and
He doesn't think that.
she's the hottest girl that he's ever been with in his life. Okay,
He thinks that. But do you
let's
not
call a
think
spade
that
a
she looks
spade.
older than her age?
Yeah, that's because of the way that she does her
The lip
makeup and
lining.
her arched eyebrows, and it's giving me a lot of
The lip line.
Lala. Okay, because Lala's like really, you know, just plonks all the makeup on and
Yeah,
arches eyebrows to all the way up to heaven or whatever
yeah.
she's trying to do.
Why did they not talk the whole time about her family? Like, I need it.
Yeah, the family situation because
Crazy family, like how they were going out with them all the time, and like
who clubs with their parents? Who goes clubbing with their parents, with both
honestly,
of their
there's
parents
so
and their
much.
sister? It's very
That
weird. And it's weird how like the family seem to be supported by her. Like as in her they all work for her, basically. They're supported by the youngest child in the family. Like the sister is the makeup artist and she does the hair and stuff. The mother does other stuff and the dad does other
no,
stuff
I
as
think
well.
the mum
And
is
they're all from
basically
Canada.
just The mum is like doesn't have a job, and I think she's just doing that because I'm sure the dad has a job because they had a life before she existed,
But
right?
they seem to be
They had
following
to
her
raise her
around.
before she got to a modeling level.
Yeah, but they're basically, I feel like they're pimping out their daughter, and they're like, she's going like, it's just weird and like it's creepy. And they have a podcast together, and it has
Yeah,
like 69 in it and stuff. I don't know.
yeah,
And
yeah.
they're talking
Oh yeah,
about
yeah,
their
it says
sex life and
69.
stuff. It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. So then they talk about Toge, and Jesse was like, "Look, I was inebriated, and I just went in there to say hi. I probably shouldn't have done that, but you know." And then apparently he was there for 37 minutes, and it was like the whole breakdown of what were
And
you
then,
doing?
yeah,
Like
then
we
Emrul
just
said,
watching them fuck. Like, huh?
yeah. And then Emrul was like, basically, I have no reason to,
Lie.
like stand up for him and stuff like that. But I wanted Emrul to sit there and say, like, look, wasn't cool. Like, you just walked in on me and like these two other
He
girls.
did at one point. He was like, "Who just barges in?" Like it, you know.
Yeah, but
And then
he
he
should
just.
have made a bit more of a fuss about it, like by
But
saying it.
it is so weird. Like, why is it not such more of a big deal? Like that he walked in on them, sat there. They were all naked, and he
Yeah,
sat there on the bed for what?
and they were meant to be cool with it. Like everyone's meant to be cool with that. You know what? I think that
He
Jesse
said
gets away
that.
with everything. Like he just gets away with so much bad behavior, and everyone just acts like, "Oh, that's just Jesse." Ha.
This is my
No.
biggest problem. This is my biggest problem of the girls in this group
Yes.
because
Yeah.
I know Lexi has done this, but all Lexi, if you just said to Lexi, had a go at Jessie in front of her and been like, "You're wrong for all this shit," like you're treating her like shit, like then
Yeah.
she would be probably be like, "Well, Ciara and these girls do have my back." They don't
Yeah.
show anything. They don't show any support to her like that at all.
Because they don't have support for her. They only support Jesse. They do always support the horrible men because they're so conditioned to like have like empathy and sympathy and like have the back of these terrible men because that's all they've been around in, especially in Bravo.
Yeah, yeah. He goes, apparently
Yeah,
when he
it's
went
like
into the room, orgy room, he was like, or, you know, threesome room, he said, I've only got eyes for Lexi, so I'm gonna sit on the bed here and do nothing, just get my toes sucked. And it's like, oh
whatever.
God. And then Andy was like, well, you did say on camera, like, you're hard. And he was like, oh, it was just a joke, right? And then Gabby says, mutters out of her breath, she's like, such a cop out. I'm just a boy. Like,
Yeah.
there's my jokes. Like,
Why does he say?
even
Yeah.
Lindsay falls for it, and she's like, oh, he just jokes like that all the time and stuff. And
I know, it's because they're all used to being treated like crap by these men, and they're just meant to take it. And I think it's like they need all the women there need like therapy because they all put up with a lot
and
of
they
crap, and
and
they won't
Lexi,
stop that cycle unless they like
yeah.
get away from these terrible men.
And Lexi keeps saying like, you know, I did want to be friends with you, but I do feel like he was spinning things. Like, why can't they just say, okay, you did do that? Why don't they believe her and just say, Jesse, you were shit,
They don't
you were
like her.
shit.
They
And
don't like her.
all they have to do is say, Jesse, you fucked up our relationship. Let's blame it on you, Jesse, and now let's have another friend. Let's have a friendship. Right? All the issues why can't Ciara say all my issues with you probably are from like have been like stemmed from Jesse. So let's just put a pin in Jesse and be like, you fucked up our
Because she still
relationship.
wants to be friends
You're
with
bad.
him because they love
You're
all the
bad. No, she
terrible
can still be
men.
friends with him. She can still be friends with him, but she can just say
You can't.
you stuck your nose in our friendship and at the beginning of our relationship. So Jesse, it's all your fault. Let's start over and be friends now, Lexi,
They
without him
don't
getting
care about
involved. I'll have
Lexi,
my
and
friendship with him, but
they just want to be friends with the terrible men. That's
but
the problem.
that is part of that mean girl and like clicky girl thing. So it
Yeah, yeah.
just adds weight
But
to
they've
that
always been
argument.
mean girls, haven't they? Like on this show. Like Lindsay was the original mean girl when she was mean to that poor girl that she was living with, she was friends with. I forgot her name. The one that got fired from her job and then she was trying to work from. I forgot her
Hmm.
name. Christina. Christina.
Oh yeah.
First season. Like she was so horrible to her,
Yeah.
and everyone's been a
Um
mean girl since then. That's come on the show. So remember how terrible they were to Jules?
yeah.
Everyone bullied Jules. That
Yeah.
was horrific.
But I just can't stand this whole thing where Jesse says a joke and it's like at the expense of Lexi at this moment.
Yeah.
Again, in the context of things, it wasn't like everyone's like, get over it, wasn't that serious relationship. But it was for her. She's
Yeah.
young. And these
Yeah.
people forget that they were young and stupid like this as well. Do you want me to bring
Yeah.
up Austin again? Like, you would have done these same things and you have done these same things. So just give her the
Harry,
benefit of the
Craig.
doubt. And she still was better than you guys because she cut it off very quickly.
Yeah, she's
She
still
didn't
better
stick
than
in it for like
Amanda.
months.
She's
Huh?
still better than Amanda. Amanda's still with that loser. Like, she's been
Well,
with him for ages.
exactly. So you should be like, Jessie, you fucked up our friendship. That's it. And look, at least she saw like he's an idiot. And she cut it off. Like, give her the benefit of the doubt, for God's sake.
Yeah.
They all would have said, like, if they were in that position, they all would have rushed into that relationship. So it's just silly.
What happens next in the
Then it moves
reunion?
on to Ciara and Jessie, the whole flirting thing, right?
Ciara and Jessie,
So
yeah.
yeah, Jessie's like, oh look, watching it back, I was wrong to flirt with Ciara when Lexi wasn't
That's
there
just
that
his
weekend.
rehearsed line. He doesn't really mean that. He doesn't
Yeah,
care.
exactly. But she was like, we were never going to do anything. He said, it's just,
It's what?
it's just not good because, which is like, it's not good enough because if you're in a relationship,
Yeah.
that's never going to be right.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. You can always say like, it's just the way our relationship is. But there's no girl that's going to come and be your girlfriend that's going to be like, oh, that's cool. Just flirt around with her like your best mate.
Yeah. It's
And
just
Ciara should know
pathetic.
that as well.
But he's only saying that. He's only saying this right now because he's heard like public opinion and he
Of
wants the
course,
public on his side, and that's all it is. It's nothing.
of
It's
course,
nothing
of
else. He
course.
doesn't care about what he's saying.
Yeah,
Is going to affect Lexi, or that he wants to make things right with Lexi or anything. He does not give a damn about Lexi. She was
yeah.
just
No,
a
of course,
vessel for him to
of course.
like
But
abuse.
my point is like, okay, you've said that now. You've said like, oh, I see it back. It was wrong to do that. You've just put a blanket statement, but just remember, like for future reference, there's no girl coming into your life that's going to be okay with it. It's not Lexi. Lexi is not a weirdo.
He
Like
doesn't
they're all
care
painting
about.
her, but they're painting her out to be like, what? Like, why are you so jealous? Like, like, what? And she's painting out to make her jealous. Like, every single girl is going to come into your life is going to feel the same way. So you better change your ways because no one was going to
He's
be
not
with
going
you
to change his ways. There's no point you
flirting with
lecturing him.
Ciara.
He's a terrible person, just like West, just like
Yes.
Carl, just like Kyle.
Yeah.
They're all not good people.
And Lexi said, like, look, watching it back, she was like, if I saw you doing that in front of me with Ciara, I would feel uncomfortable and I would have been like, you know what, let's not pursue this relationship. But you were doing it behind my back, so how was I to know? And I found out after. So obviously I'm going to try and give you the benefit of the doubt, and it was early days. But my point with Ciara is that why don't you just admit right there and then and say, Lexi, I'm sorry. She never said sorry to Lexi once, the whole reunion.
Yeah, she doesn't.
It's so
I didn't
easy for
like
her to
that. I
be
didn't
like,
like that at
Jessie shouldn't
all.
have been like that. She should have said, you know what, Lexi, I was wrong as well. Like, I know you were with him, so I shouldn't have flirted back. And I should have said, like, he was really She never came up to. Paige
Yeah,
said to
you're right.
Ciara, and Amanda said to Lexi that you are the one that he was flirting when you weren't there. But it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't it wasn't Ciara. Ciara should have been the one to come to Lexi and been like, you know what, he was flirting with me. It was wrong. So you want to do something about that?
Yeah. Basically, I think that she was like, she's doing that because there's alliances and they're just like trying to move to doing what they're doing in their alliances and stuff like that. It's really complicated, and their daddy issues and everything all flapped into one.
But
Stupid.
also, Ciara was crying when that happened with Lindsay and Austin. Austin came to
Yeah.
the house and was flirting with Lindsay,
Yeah.
and she
I
was
get
upset.
you. What happened next? Remember,
Okay.
not the ums and ahs, please. What
Yeah.
happened next?
Lexi was just saying that she was hurt that Amanda was suggesting that she really wants Jessie and Ciara to hook up.
And then, and then Amanda's little cop out. She was like, "Well, I tried to blah blah blah."
Yeah.
She was actually
Amanda.
like, she's such a terrible actress. Amanda, you can just tell that she hates Lexi, and she's just trying to act like, "Oh, well, I did care about you, and I wish you'd come to me."
She's just double playing both sides. She's like
Yeah,
playing both sides.
she does that a lot
Never
with a lot of
works.
people on the show, which I really
Right is
hate.
right and wrong is wrong. That's it.
Yeah, she's horrible. Amanda's horrible. I
Paige,
just can't stand her.
Paige,
She's not for
Paige
TV.
did, Paige did say like I did tell you like break up with him, which she did.
Yeah, she did.
But
That's
it was the
fair
wrong
enough.
it was the wrong person. She didn't.
Yeah.
Paige didn't shit stare and then tell her to break up. Amanda shit stared and then told her to break up.
Yeah.
And Ciara just said nothing when she was the person involved. So
Yeah.
it's
But it's
just
not
stupid.
also it's not Ciara's fault that that what's his name was flirting with Ciara. He kept like laying it on thick to her. Jessie. It's not her. She can't stop him from flirting with her. Like she could have drawn a
No,
line and
but
said, "Don't flirt with me." But You know, ultimately it's his responsibility not to do that. Like you're in a supposed relationship with someone else, and you're doing
Yeah,
that, and
but
you
you
think that's okay.
but
And
you
it's
can
not
see
Ciara,
why.
who's not in the relationship's duty to police that guy. It's
No, of
not.
course, but in hindsight, if Lexi's saying I wanted to make friends with everyone, it really is difficult for her to make friends with Ciara if Ciara's holding that information back that your man was flirting with me. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
but at the
if
same
my
time,
friend
but she
was
wasn't
if
making
my
an effort to be friends with Ciara or any of the women, and
yeah,
that's because of Jessie.
but that energy must have been received from Lexi in some way because they obviously didn't feel close or like her because
Yeah,
she
yeah.
would have said
You're right.
something.
You're right. Yeah,
So I think it was both ends, it's both sides.
yeah. And then they
Um,
moved on to what
then
do
we
they move
moved
on
on
to?
to the Jesse going, "Stop touching me, Ciara," and how he basically flipped that. And Lexi was saying, and Ciara was saying, like it's an example of when
What?
Lexi was saying it's an example of how Jesse was trying to flip things around because I had no problem with you and uh with Jesse and Ciara at that point, and he was saying that Lexi told me not to touch you and stuff, and then Ciara was like, "Well, we didn't know that at the time, so obviously I thought that was true." So then it was just a case of again, like now there's more evidence, Ciara, that Jesse was stirring some shit up between you. So again, accept it and be like, "Well, Jesse, why did you do that? I'm
Yeah, but she's
sorry,
not going to accept
Lexi."
it and say that because she's friends with Jessie and she doesn't want to mess that up. So it's just an
Again, right is
endless
right and
cycle
wrong
of
is
crap.
wrong.
Yeah.
Right is right and wrong is wrong. So I just think that's so stupid.
And then
Um,
they moved on
to
to
the
what?
virtual reality tea. Who's the guy in that?
I
That's
don't know.
basically it was about the whole thing where Lexi went on an interview with the virtual reality tea people and said that I invited everyone to my birthday after shooting finished, and Ciara and Jesse didn't reply, and then they ended up going out together.
Yeah.
Right. So the
So
timeline apparently there is skewed a little bit from what I hear. I think they posted stuff the day after like her birthday. But Ciara was like, I don't go to anyone's birthdays. Like, I don't care. Like, why would
I
I go
don't
to your
even go
birthday
to
if I think you
Paige's.
don't like me?
I don't even go to Paige's 30th as well.
Yeah.
That's a
And
bit
she said,
shocking.
yeah. So it's probably a projection of her own birthday, you know, her issues
Yeah,
with
yeah,
her.
yeah. Just
So
like
she said,
issues,
yeah.
deep-seated
So
issues.
So the thing with this birthday thing is that I get like for Lexi, I guess it was like an olive branch she was extending. So
Yeah.
at least again, Ciara could have been like,
But before that, she could have.
I'm sorry, I can't come.
Yeah, yeah. That could have been the like courteous thing to do. But these people in Summer House, they're uncouth. None of them have any couth.
But
They're
it was
like
a
I
tit for
doubt
tat.
Jesse even said
It
I'm
was
not coming.
it was a tit for tit. Like
Yeah,
a tit for tat that Ciara was like, well, she doesn't like me, so I'm just gonna blank her a message and then just not turn up.
yeah.
Like,
So true, so true.
oh, Ciara, like, don't get in your feelings so much about this stuff. Like, she's just said Jesse's the idiot. Please be my
Yeah,
friend.
but
Like,
hurt people. So that's what Ciara's up to. Now, next, what happened after that moment
um,
that they flash back to?
so then,
You
yeah,
know what?
basically,
You can just have your
that was.
notes on the screen. I'll show you how to do that next time, so you don't have to keep flipping back and forth. And it could just be up, like my face will be here, and then you can see the notes as well, like on top of my face.
Oh, that's a good little one.
Yeah, so you don't have to. You can just
I
you
like
can just
that.
scroll on my face
I
like
like
that.
that idea.
Scroll on.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So,
So
that was the end of the part one of the reunion. So we move on to part two. Okay, so
yes,
part
thank God.
two is still in that kind of confrontation between Ciara and Lexi. She just basically Ciara doesn't like how Lexi is portraying her
Huh.
in the media.
Yeah.
So,
Then we move on because we can't
Andy
like keep
basically
going on about that.
asks Lexi that how are you with Jesse now? She says I'm still mad at him. And she said that basically during the show, Jesse was saying that just stick with me, basically. And Paige said, was he big dogging you? Which I think
Yeah.
means that he
Yeah.
thinks
As
he's
in
a
like
season two
he's a
veteran.
big dog around here. Yeah. Yeah. And he's
He's
got
season two veteran, and he was
yeah.
basically. She said that he was saying things like, "The girls don't want you to be with me,"
Yeah.
and
I
there's
can
there's
100%
division.
believe that.
Yeah, and there's divisions in the house. But again, these women are all listening to that, and they're like, "Poor Jesse, what?
Yeah. There's nothing poor about Jesse. He's
Get
poor.
your
He is
knives
poor
out, man!
pathetic.
Get your daggers out!"
Yeah, should have been a witch hunt basically for those two demons, Jesse and what's his name? I was gonna call him Paige. Jesse and the other twat.
Well,
West, that's it.
Yeah. And then
Twit and
basically
twat.
Paige was like, why didn't you come to any of us or whatever if you felt like he said that that you guys didn't like that you should have said something. And she was like, I feel uncomfortable. And
I
then
understand that. I understand that she felt uncomfortable.
I
Because,
completely
yeah,
understand that.
yeah.
And then Amanda's like, you should have just come to me, like, or text me or something, like,
What I have to say to
yeah,
that is, shut up, Amanda. Okay, you fake ass bitch. Okay,
yeah. I can't.
I can't stand
Um,
Amanda.
then Lindsay basically decides to summarize everything and said, like, you guys were just your actual relationship was about how you were being
Yeah,
perceived.
and it
Like,
wasn't even a good. It wasn't even a good summary, and it didn't
yeah,
even.
I
They
didn't
just
think so
think
as
both
well.
of
Everyone
them
was like
are to blame, basically. And
clapping
no,
their hands.
it's
It wasn't a good
all
summary.
Jesse's fault.
Yeah,
Everything is Jesse's fault.
it's
No, stop
another
sticking up.
band-aid for to put
Yeah,
on Jessica's boo-boo.
another woman sticking up for the terrible men on this show. That's another problem.
Yes.
Then we moved on after
And then
Lindsay. What
Lexi
happened?
tries again in their little mini break to like be like, I really want to move on with you and have a future with you, Ciara, and I'm really sorry. And Ciara still gives her like nothing.
Yeah, she's
And
a
then
hard cookie to
thereafter,
crack because hard nut to crack because of all her issues, you know. So, but
real
I
hard, yeah.
don't think she's doing it like with any like mal intent, Ciara. I think that's how she's been hardened by life, and it's hard to crack that nut.
I just hope her therapist recorded the reunion and showed her like
Yeah,
the tough nut things, like and
yeah.
been like,
Maybe
you know
they
what,
she can
these are
go
the
back
moments
and
to
like
soften up.
amend things. Yeah, amend things with
Get
Lexi.
soft with it, get soft with it.
Yeah, soft.
Um, and basically thereafter, Lexi proceeds to hold Gabby's hand for the rest of the reunion. So
Okay, how do you feel about that? I feel in a way she needed the support, yeah, and but in another way, like Gabby's just looking for a role to play. Like she's always like she had a role to play with Lindsay before, and I just feel like
Gabby,
Gabby is
man,
kind of like she's a side character. She's not main.
not even
Um,
side.
yeah, she's not main character energy. She doesn't give me main character energy.
She she is like the arrows. She could be an arrow. Gabby's here, you know, like Imral's arrows, like the people coming in and out of the house that he's sleeping with.
Oh yeah.
She could just be an arrow that we just point to Gabby, you know. Really, there's
She
nothing going on there.
Yeah, I think that Danielle deserves like to be on the show more than Gabby. You know,
Oh,
Danielle deserves
Danielle's
to be.
given so much more, like Balloon
Yes, she's
Guy
given her
and all
all her
the
craziness to the show. She's given every ounce of crazy that she has to the show. Okay, and I'm
oh,
sure we can
100%.
squeeze some more drops of crazy out of that girl. Okay.
I think the conversation, if Gabby is to be in the program still, the producers need to be like, you need to give more. Like you're hiding lots of stuff. Like even the relationship stuff. Like she said that she's
I
not going to bring anyone here. Like she's going to have to admit to bringing more stuff. Otherwise, it's just not going to work.
Yeah, but also she's quite boring as well. But she's not as boring. I don't think she's as boring if she let us into her life as
Yeah,
Amanda.
let us judge
Okay.
that. Bring your stuff in. Bring your life.
We've
Open
been
your life
cursed
up.
with Amanda for so many years. Like, at least give
And
us something.
the bad thing about Amanda is that she's fully opened up and it's still boring. Like let us find out Gabby, and then we will judge you on
She's
everything because
stupid. She's stupid as well, Amanda. Okay.
all the cards aren't out on the table with Gabby. So Amanda's are fully out, and it's just there's nothing there. So
Yeah, there's nothing there.
there is nothing there.
Empty.
So then it's the Lindsay
Remember,
segment.
you're still doing the ums.
Oh,
Okay,
sorry,
stop
sorry,
that.
sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, sorry.
Just say so.
So it's the Lindsay segment now, and they talk
Yeah.
about how she was apparently pregnant at the last reunion, but
Yeah,
no one
that's
can tell.
shocking. But Paige said she knew. Paige was like, I knew. Like she guessed
Was it
it.
Paige? Oh,
Yeah,
she did.
she was
She
like,
guessed
yeah,
it.
she was like. But that's why she painted on those abs. Remember, she had those painted on abs.
Yes.
But guess
Oh
what?
yeah.
Like, how could she be pregnant? Like, her stomach looks so like good and flat and like amazing.
I didn't know it was painted on at the time. I
But
didn't.
there was no way in hell. No, I did because she said that when she walked in. You probably just
Oh,
can't remember
I
because it
don't
was a while
remember
ago.
yet.
But she said that, and she said, "Yeah, had my abs painted on because I wanted to look good." She said that to Andy when she was walking in. But like, there's no way in hell that I would have known. Like, would you have known?
No, but it obviously must have been really early in the pregnancy. But
Yeah,
still, it was a really good way to throw people off, I think.
yeah. She obviously didn't have any morning sickness either because she managed to sit through all that.
Yeah, yeah. So then we talk about Jesse's reaction, which was obviously quite at the time. Even I was like, why did he react like that? when she announced her pregnancy on the program, when she brought that whole board in, and he was like,
Oh no,
"Oh,
it
she's
wasn't Jesse.
pregnant."
It was no. Also, West had some kind of like
No,
stank
West was
face that he
fine.
gave.
No, it was Jesse. It was Jesse. It was all Jesse.
Okay.
Jesse made a stank face, and he was like, basically, "Oh
Yeah,
no, we've
he's
got a pregnant
judging.
house in the summer house."
No, but he's
That's what he
also
cared about.
judging, like, because weren't you with Kyle just like 5 minutes ago?
Yeah.
Like they had some kind of conversation about that, him and West, like
Well, that's
as
what he
well.
explained
Like,
even on the reunion. He
so
said,
fucking judgy.
I was just shocked because she was with Carl last season and then last summer,
Yeah,
and
but
it's
that's
happened
so
so quick."
judgy. Like that's so gross and judgy from that gross old turd of a man.
I mean,
Like, you have no right to judge anyone because your behavior has been disgusting.
I think again he doesn't know how to use his words. I think if you did say it like,
That's an
I
excuse
didn't
for
know
his
if she was
pathetic
over
behavior.
the relationship, because I think as a friend of hers or someone or a family member of hers, I'd also be like, wow,
Yeah,
like
but
it's a
you
bit
wouldn't.
you haven't got over your relationship.
Yeah, but what right does he have? He's a terrible human being who's been terrible all like everything that we've seen of him has been terrible, and he does
Yeah.
he does
He
worse things than she's done.
correct. Yeah, I think
So
she is.
how have you got the right to judge her,
Yeah, I don't think
gross
he
man?
can judge. He shouldn't be the one to judge.
And you can't judge how what a woman does with her body anyway. So
Yeah.
fuck you.
I understand the thing of like, she has she healed from a previous relationship? Maybe it's rushing too soon, but
Yeah,
he's
but
not the person with that genuine concern,
yeah,
and
also
he's also a
I
shifty
think you're right.
person. So
Yeah,
yes,
you're right that friends and family can
yeah,
because they're the
yeah,
people that know you.
yes. But it's good
No
he
one
didn't
else.
call him a fucker at the end of it, so which is good.
Yeah, good.
Because he is,
Yeah,
he is
he's
a
a terrible
fucker.
person. Yeah. Then we
Um,
moved on to the next
then
bit.
we move on
You did it
to
again. You did it
yeah,
again.
sorry.
Okay.
So Gabby's only segment where Andy asks about Gabby
Gabby.
bitching about Carl on the bed when they were in the room
Oh
to
yeah, about his giant
Lindsay.
teeth or whatever.
She was like, "I don't even know why he's here with his giant teeth, and he's so boring." And basically,
Yeah.
she just said, "I was just
Then
shit
she
talking."
apologized. She
Yeah,
apologized and she said she didn't mean that, and she was just trying to like make Lindsay feel better about herself, and she
yeah,
doesn't really think that about Kyle. But then Carl, and then
Carl.
Carl went into this like massive sob story about his teeth, and like I had yellow teeth in my first season, and then like he was like really sad about that, and
And
another way for
and
him to
how he
pay.
brushed his teeth with his. There's no like,
Yeah, when he
there's
was
nothing
like
to feel
when he
bad
was
about
on
when you
crack.
brushed it.
Yeah, because when he was on crack, he
He's
was doing crazy things, because he
yeah.
wasn't brushing his teeth back then, and he was on
That
crack.
actually would have been believable if he just said that. Like, I only did that because I was like
On
high
crack.
as yeah, high as a kite. Like I was like messed up. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but yeah. So, but anyway, so I don't feel like he just did that for another like sob story because he's always looking for like I'm sad and I'm poor and I'm pathetic and I can't do this and I'm weak and I'm weak. I'm
yeah.
so
And
weak.
no,
I
basically
understand
he just said,
he feels like it feels like he's depressed, yeah, and that's why he's coming from a place of like, oh, or like he has a lot of anxiety, yeah. It's either that or he has a lot of anxiety and he feels like he can't do anything and he's turned into a little cocoon. He's cocooning and he's turned into a baby and he needs to come out of that. Everyone goes through things like that in life, yeah, but you have to like come out of it eventually.
well, I think he just said that. Andy then asked Carl that, did you feel bad when you heard that? And he said, yeah. And he's just explaining why he felt bad because otherwise it's just an appearance thing. Yeah, I felt bad because I don't like people to make fun of the way I look. But he
Yeah,
went deeper into it because he's justifying like why I felt that bad.
yeah,
If it was a surface thing, I wouldn't really care. But I mean, people do have insecurities, and I guess teeth are
yeah,
his thing. And he talked about how he got a bad set of teeth last year. They were too big, and
yeah,
then it's all better now. And I think they're okay now. His teeth. I don't have any
yeah.
issue with it.
It's just too bright. He did a Ross from Friends, basically. He
Yes.
just brightened his teeth to the point of no return.
Yeah. And then they talked about how the friendship between, I mean, how Carl misses his friendship with Lindsay because they got together around about the time where his brother passed, and then they talked about how Lindsay acknowledged when they were on that night out that it was
Yeah,
it was
I think he's
on her birthday as well. It's her birthday that triggers because it was her
yeah,
birthday is the anniversary of his brother's
his
death.
brother's death. Yeah, I think he's trying to like slither his way into Lindsay's like life again. I don't think he wants it to be the same, but I think he wants it to be friends again. Like I
Yeah,
think
I
he's
think
desperate
so.
for
Yeah.
that. I feel
Yes.
like he's trying to look for her in. Like like being really cautious and pulling back and then going forward and then pulling back. Like he wants an in, like he misses that, but
I think he misses the friend. I don't think
yeah.
I don't think he ever wants to get back with her. I think
No,
he's
no, no, I
dead.
don't think that. I don't think
But I
that. But
think
I
he
think
does
he
want to be
misses
a
the
friend,
friendship.
which is fair enough.
Yeah.
I think she's a good friend.
Yeah, I think she's very fiercely loyal. Like she's a good person to have on your like team. Like
Yeah,
she will
I think
go to
she's
bat for you.
definitely. I think she's a good friend, and I think she was for all those years. They built up a lot of friendship before they got together.
Yeah.
I think it just became very murky when they got to the finger bang,
Okay,
and then it
anyway, we
made
don't
it
want to
very
talk about that gross. So please, I don't want
when
to
it
imagine that. Okay, please, no.
no
Okay, now
when it got
next,
all confusing there.
no.
But no, but I'm actually hopeful. I do think she said that she doesn't think she's there yet with him, obviously, which
Yeah,
is fair enough. But I
yeah.
think in the future they could be friends again.
Hopefully,
I don't think it's worth like
hopefully he
they don't
doesn't
have a
trick her
kid.
into
They didn't
like
do it like
getting into a
nothing major
relationship
came.
again.
They weren't even married, so it's not that much of a big deal. Like it's just a relationship that didn't work. So then Lindsay talks about Turner and how
They
they're
were
not together
engaged
anymore.
and they had to cancel the whole wedding. It's not. It is a big deal. It is a big
But
deal.
she forced the wedding. I don't think he wanted to get
No,
married.
just stop. We don't want to have this conversation again. I can't have this conversation with you again about how you demonize Lindsay
It's
and
true.
no, just stop.
Everyone
I
knows
can't
that.
do it.
Even Paige.
No,
Everyone
just
said it on the
stop.
cast.
No, just stop. Okay. Now let's move on. Let's move on
She's a
from
great
this.
friend. She's a
No,
shitty partner.
God. Oh my God. I can't do this with you. Okay. Stop. Okay. I'm losing my voice
You
as
know
it is.
it's
So
true.
next.
Okay, anyway. So she talked about Turner and how he wants to be private and she wants to put Gemma on adverts everywhere, all over social media and have her own page for Gemma, and Turner doesn't want that basically.
She
And
wants to
so
pour
it's
out her
like,
child basically on the internet.
yeah, I mean she's a social person and she's like, I can't put it back in a can, which is true. Like
Yeah,
now
that's true.
I'm
That's
out
true.
there. Everyone wants to know about me. I like I might as well make some money from it. Fair enough.
Okay. Now Turner, she's not with Turner anymore. Everyone was shocked because they didn't know.
Yeah, what do you think about that? Like that she was with him. Like West said, I came to your place and you went together. Like, is
Yeah,
that
so
not
I think
good?
that's good co-parenting then. I think she's doing well. Like, if they didn't even realize that they're not together, as in they were getting on harmoniously.
Yeah, but if
They
they
were
are your
getting
friends, don't you?
that's an achievement for Lindsay because she wouldn't have been able to get on harmoniously with someone that she broke up with, would she?
Yeah.
So I think that's good. I think she's doing good.
No, I think she's doing good co-parenting. I'm just questioning the fact that why wouldn't you just tell them? I don't understand why
Because
she
she
kept.
didn't want them to be judged because they're always judgy and this and that, and they're
Maybe,
always attacking her, you know. So she like kept it
maybe. But I don't think she
in
cares about being attacked. I think she can give it back. It's a
yeah,
weird
but
choice. I don't know.
no, because she also mentioned that she's going through postpartum and stuff like that. So I feel like she
Yeah.
didn't want that. She didn't want
She
this.
didn't want the added stuff of it or
Yeah,
like the cumulative thing.
yeah,
But Gabby did know, she said. So
yeah.
that's something. And I think that just speaks volumes that she's closer to Gabby. And
Yeah,
Gabby did say, like, I think it's a more mature decision as well.
yeah. That's just only because Gabby's the new Danielle, and you know that's right.
Yeah, but no, she's not as messed up as Danielle, I don't think.
No, she's not messed up. I'm just saying she's a new replacement for Danielle in Lindsay's life. She's the new
Yeah,
Danielle. Yeah.
but she's more stable, which is good because if you're going to be that
Gabby.
if you're going to be that supportive position in Lindsay's life, you got to come without too much baggage because
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
when you go crazy, like Danielle, because she wanted to be in the limelight and she wanted to be like,
She wanted her own life, but
and
like you
she's
can't have
just
your own life
jealous.
if you.
She's a jealous person as well, so that's why it didn't work
Yeah, I
out.
don't think she was to start off with Danielle. I think it kind of like she went that way. Like she wanted the ring, like my precious. Like I want the. I think it got too much for her, and I think because in the beginning she was so supportive and like you know of Lindsay like all the time. She just like
Yeah.
followed Lindsay around like a puppy dog.
Yes. Yeah. So Carl said.
I said what?
Carl
What did
talks
you
about
stop
how
saying?
Sorry. Carl talks about how he is dating, and
They bring up that Lima energy girl.
the magic girl, whatever her name,
Yeah,
Lil.
yeah, and he was like, I liked her because she's hot.
Yeah, he basically said that was the only thing that attracted me to her. And then
And they
Lindsay
kind
said,
of
I don't
laughed
really.
about her. It was like sad that they just cast her out. She's not even a member of the show, but everyone laughed at her, and I felt like that was the old summer house bullying crew getting back together. You know, bullying for no reason. It was
Yeah,
kind of
Lindsay just basically said that I didn't appreciate you telling her that I can see my child on the bed that you paid for,
yeah, that
which
was a
was
bit gross
that
of
was low.
Carl.
That was gross,
Yeah,
and he admitted it.
yeah,
Again, I think he was just bashing for the sake of bashing.
yeah,
So
and he backed off straight away like, oh, I don't
yeah.
want to deal with Lindsay. Oh, I'm sorry, it was
No, but he's
random.
never been like that. Like he can fight.
Whatever.
He can't fight.
Okay, we're not going back and forth with the Lindsay Kyle drama. Okay, if anyone
But
wants
if
to
he's
listen
trying
to
to get
us,
back in a good
have a
graces, like
fight
you're
about it.
saying,
Let us
no,
know.
if he's trying to become friends with her again, he knows when to back off as well. Like, just admit
Yeah,
she's right.
true.
Just say yes to everything.
Yeah. Then what happened next?
So then it's the Kyle and Amanda show.
Oh, Kyle. Kyle, Amanda. Yeah,
So Andy basically says that
about the kid situation.
you seem like you were on a better level, like you were able to talk things through. You weren't fighting so much this season. Like, what's going on? It seemed like you're in a better place
Oh,
this,
and then they
this
showed all the
season.
parts where they didn't show, and they were fighting a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But basically, Amanda said that the
it's on
reason
her
why it
depression
seemed like they
medication.
were no, it seemed that they were calm. They were calm is because just before Summer House aired, she had a big conversation with Kyle, and that you need to really figure your shit out because she had one foot out the door. So basically, she was saying like I was like close to being done with the relationship. So basically, Kyle's like I had a big wake up call, and I realized that I was only using the Summer House, which you said before, to basically like get my to like blow off like the energy that I've
Yeah,
had. Like it
blow
was
off
his
steam. Yeah,
outlet, blow of steam, yeah, and like
this
it
is
was his
pathetic.
outlet. Um, and it all comes down to the fact that Amanda just feels like he's got no time to have a family, and she thinks he's a workaholic, and is that ever going to change? She's worried, and she wants him to sell the business. And I don't know where if he's there yet, because when she's saying the selling the business, I
They
think she's
just
like,
need to never be together. Like they never needed to be together from the start. Like they're not compatible. And he just needs someone who's crazy workaholic and that likes to party all the time like him.
I
And
think I
you
don't know.
think,
I think part of the reason that they got on well this summer as well is that they had their own things that they were doing. So I think what's happened is
and
that she was like on his ass constantly because she had nothing better to do and she was working with him. Now
but
that she's got
also now
something
she's
of
on
her
her
own,
medication as well, so she's calmed
yeah,
down a
the
bit as well.
medication thing, yeah. But I think now that they've got their own thing that they're doing, I think it's either going to make them separate even more because she was kind
Yeah,
of
I
just
think they're
like
going to
following
break up
around
pretty
and
soon.
yeah.
They need to
And the
divorce
thing
like really soon.
And the thing is, like she said right now, like I think he's a workaholic, and I think he's, I don't think that's ever going to change. But on the show, it was seemed like when they were having conversations, she was like, I don't really know if I want to have one because I don't know if I can look after another kid, like especially with my issues, and I'm scared about postpartum. So it's not all him, also, and I think he's also worried. He said, I'm also worried about that as well. He thinks that if she's saying like, I'm not sure if I want to have a kid because I don't know how it's going to affect me and my mental health. I think there's a bit of like I think for her to constantly say like he's a workaholic, he can't be a dad, he's not going to be a good dad.
Sorry about
There's
the
too many
noise in the
things there.
background.
Can't hear
There seems
anything.
to be a lorry making beeping sounds, and also
Can't hear
there's
anything.
like it sounds like there's glass bottles being poured into the lorry, like
Oh,
crash, crash,
okay.
crash, 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 crash. Sorry.
I
Anyway,
can't
go
hear
on.
anything on
Continue.
this side. No, I was just saying that I think on the reunion she seems like she's bashing Kyle and saying like we're not having a baby because Kyle's a workaholic, but she also did openly say on on Summer House itself, like on the program, that I I don't know if I'm capable of looking after another kid. Like I'm worried about my mental health, and I don't know if things can come back after I
Yeah,
have a
so she
kid.
doesn't know
So
really if she wants a kid or not.
I don't, and he didn't throw her
She's a
under the
limbo
bus and
about it.
really say like, well, Amanda, you also said that you don't know if
But
you could have another kid. No one said that.
no, he did. Remember when he had the fit at that table when they
Then
were
I'm saying
at dinner?
in the reunion, and Andy didn't say anything. Like, but what about
Yeah.
the stuff that you said?
Basically, they need to break up. It would they should have never they should have never got married in the first place. Stupid people. Okay, next, move on. We
Yeah,
can't keep talking about those dummies.
and she basically said that I need to have a kid in the next 3 years because, like biologically, if I want to have more than one as well, I need to like
Yeah,
get
and she's
going.
put her
And
eggs on ice as well. She said.
Kyle said that he's put his sperm on ice, which is a nice throwback to Craig. You don't need to
Yeah.
put your sperm on ice. You've got a million. You just got it checked. What are you put your sperm on ice for?
Oh yeah,
You've
yeah,
got a surplus. You can have a kid when you're 100. Let's be honest. That's
yeah,
the life of the male. It's just blessed.
yeah.
um,
Unfortunately, we all always get the short end of the straw. Next.
yeah, and then they ask Carl about Kyle and how do you think he's going to be as a dad? And basically, they said that in the break. That was quite cute when Gemma
Oh
came
yeah,
out with
when yeah,
Lindsay, and
yeah.
then Kyle was like, "Let me hold her," and all the like Jesse and everyone was like, "Ugh," making baby
That
noises.
and
But
that's what Carl took as a good of him being as a good
no,
indicator
he
of
was
him
just saying
being a
it's
dad.
nice to see, not a good dad, but he was just saying it was nice to see him like soft, with a kid.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I do actually have a feeling in my heart that Kyle would be a good dad. I do. I think
I know you've got a soft spot for Kyle.
I
You
do.
always have a soft spot for
I
Kyle,
do.
and you know he's a lunatic. He's a lunatic, and he
I think
treats
he likes.
Amanda
I
like
think.
shit. And Amanda just clings onto him, and Amanda's an idiot.
Yeah, I think he needs
If
to
you look
find
at
the
it
right
logically,
person for it. I'm not saying that he should be
imagine
with
if it was
Amanda.
me with Kyle, okay? What would you tell me? Like, would you be like, yeah, you should definitely stay together with him,
No,
never
I
get
don't think they're
divorced,
right for each other.
it's a great relationship.
I don't think they bring the best parts out. Like, I don't think they bring the best out of each other. That ultimately, that's what you want in a relationship. I think
Yeah,
he'd be with the right person. He'd be good. I think he needs the
yeah.
right
But
balance. I think the workaholic thing is true because it
he needs
just
to be
seems
with
like
someone that's a workaholic too, so
yeah, and I think
they can thrive together in that like kind of environment, and then they can go off and blow some steam, and you know.
no, because I don't think that's healthy as well. Because what's going to happen to the kid?
No, I don't think that he's meant for kids. Like, I don't think he can do a kid because he's
I
very
think he can.
eccentric. He
I
goes
think
from
people
one
can
extreme to
change.
the other all
I
the
think
time.
people can change in the right scenario. I think kids
Yeah, but I
change
don't
you,
think
and I
he's
think.
ready for that right now. Look at
But
him.
when you'll be,
Look at
I
him
don't think you're
already.
ever ready for a kid.
Yeah,
I
you're
think
not
the
ever
kid
ready for
comes
a
and you
kid, but
change.
he's definitely not ready.
No, I think the kid comes and I think he can change because it's not like he's got actual issues. I don't think he's an alcoholic, and I don't think he's like got like other issues. I think he just he doesn't
He doesn't know
know
how to
how.
behave sometimes. That's
I
it.
think he gets stressed out, and I think that's why he drinks. Like on the weekend, he's like work, and I'm stressed, and then I'm gonna go drink.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Let's move
So
on.
then we.
No.
Okay.
Next.
So, we move. Oh, I did it. We move on to the Kyle and Craig segment of the Spritz drama.
Oh, God. Okay.
So basically, it emerges that Craig doesn't know anything about his business, which I think we knew.
Yeah.
And to be fair, on Summer House, what's her name? Always used to say that. The
Who?
one they wrote
Summer
in
House, or are you talking about Southern Charm?
Southern Charm. Sorry, what's her name? The
Lever?
pointless girl, Lever. She always says that Craig doesn't know what he's doing, and he's just the side piece of the
Yeah.
business. And
Because he
we all know
doesn't.
that's true, and we just bring it up again that Kyle was like, I was arguing with an idiot because I was
Yeah.
getting so frustrated, but I shouldn't have argued with him because he knew jack shit. Like, it was better me going to his
Yeah.
partner.
And he was literally trying to manipulate. He was making Kyle feel like shit for no reason. I felt so bad for Kyle in that situation because Craig was such an evil like person, and he was basically trying to like hold something over him and say, "You better apologize to me, otherwise I'm not going to put my stuff in your stuff in my
Yeah.
store and this and that." Like, he is such an evil person. Like,
And
who does
Kyle,
that? And he was laughing in the background about doing that, and then he left him outside in the
and I'm going
dinghy
to pull all
and
your
never came
drinks out of
back.
my
And he said, "I'll
pillow
be back in
shop.
a minute." And he made him sit there for ages, and he never came back. Do you
No
remember?
one's going to ever be able to drink your spritz while sitting on my pillows ever again.
Who
Like,
cares? Who wants to buy his stupid pillows? Like, I just don't understand.
oh, wait. That is so funny. So, yeah, basically, Kyle says I've got whole conversations and messages with him where he's just basically blabbing bullshit and he doesn't know what he's talking about, and it's just frustrating. I just
Okay, they
wanted him
showed
to
some on the
be,
screen as well, maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was just saying I
He'd
wanted
be
him to be
horrific.
a good friend and just basically say I'm not, just be a good friend and say that I should have talked to you before. It was so
Yeah,
simple for Craig. Like, why did he have to look like
yeah,
a douche? He could have just simply said I should have had a conversation with you. And
yeah,
then Paige was just saying that, look, I stuck up for him, but to be honest, like behind closed doors, I knew that he didn't know anything that was going on with the business.
yeah,
And she just said I was sticking up for him because he's my boyfriend and that's just what
yeah.
I do.
She's being a good girlfriend, basically.
A
That's
good,
what she said.
yeah. Again,
Now,
right is right and wrong is
and
wrong.
then they
Hot
moved
take
on to the
on
wedding
tongue.
situation.
Yeah, so Kyle before that was just saying that even though we went through all that stuff when Craig and Paige broke up, I did like reach out to him and message him, but he basically unfollowed him, and Kyle said the same. Paige said that basically anyone that took my side and was like supportive of me, he just unfollowed them straight away, which just shows Craig's behavior, like his
Yeah, he did that
stupidity.
to Juanita as well on the cast. Yeah,
Vanita,
Juanita
yeah,
on the car and things like that as well.
yes,
Now, so let's talk about the wedding. So the wedding, basically, he said that what's it called? Andy asked about the wedding. So what happened at Kyle and Amanda's wedding? And Kyle and Amanda's wedding, Paige finally came out with that she's been covering up for him, and basically he said he was kicking the tables and like throwing stuff, and then he went inside and he like because he was drunk and he went inside
Amanda's
when no one was meant
parents'
to,
house.
yeah. And then they wanted to kick him out and they kicked him out because he was being like drunk and belligerent basically. And so yeah, she was defending him for that. Who would stay with
So
someone after all that?
she said that because on the reunion she got a lot. Now everyone's giving a lot of stick for on the reunion last season, saying like, why did you cover up Craig's behavior?
Yeah.
But she was just saying Danielle leaked it. That's what I was pissed about. Okay, so I was pissed about the fact that she was leaking stuff. Now Craig did do all that stuff, and
Yeah, but I
she
don't
was
care if Danielle
mortified. She
leaked
said
it.
that
But
you've got to call the Batulas and apologize to them, and he flat out refused. Like, he's a demon.
yeah, he really is.
Like,
He is.
even like when you're
He's
sober
the
state, if you
devil
sober up,
himself.
like you can't even like look at yourself in the mirror and be like, oh god, I was like really a mess last night, and apologize.
But he doesn't care. He
Um,
has a lot. He has I think because Bravo gives these men a platform, and then they get like their egos get so inflated, and they feel like they're God. They've got a God complex, and they feel like they can do no wrong, and they don't have to apologize to anyone. And they have like all these adoring fans and everything. Like someone needs to like push him off his like high horse, like get him off that pedestal.
yeah.
Because
The
yeah,
thing is, with this whole thing about her lying, I don't understand why she was still with him, and I think a lot of people don't
yeah,
understand after that. But I honestly think, again, I said this before, if she was in this relationship in close quarters, she would have broken up with him. It's only because they were in different states. So she was kind of like, okay, he's going to go tomorrow anyway, so I don't have to deal with him. Like, I'm going to put it in the back burner.
yeah, yeah.
And then
Obviously, it
he
would have been
pissed off for a
accelerated. So
week, and then she
yeah,
went there, and then she had to deal with some other shit, but then she came back. It was not like a permanent
yeah, yeah.
situation.
Because
She
yeah,
had
'cause
other distractions going on in her life.
yeah, so she didn't have to like deal with him constantly and like, but the whole thing, like if they were together, it would have accelerated the breakup.
I wish someone asked that question, like one of the viewers asked that question, and Andy read
No,
it.
but
Like,
we
do you
know the
think he would
answer,
have
so it
been with
doesn't
him
really
for
matter.
3 years? If it, and she would 1,000%, we would have broken up. She
Yeah,
couldn't handle it. She couldn't handle being in the house with him for like 2 days.
yeah,
She was constantly trying to get him out.
yeah.
Um,
Next,
so Paige
what
was
else did
just
I?
basically saying about the whole breakup thing that when everyone was going on her and saying that she wanted to break up with Craig because she was cheating or she had someone else she wanted to be with or something, she reached out to Craig and said, "Please, can you just like squash this because it's not true."
Yeah,
And
he
he
refused to
basically
basically.
flat out refused, and
Yeah,
that's why she was like, he's dead to me. Like she said,
yeah,
I don't think in a normal situation, like if we went on TV, you owe each other anything. Rumors can happen, like you break
yeah,
up and someone's saying that. I don't need you to go out there on a megaphone and say anything on the
yeah, yeah.
streets,
But this is
but
like
I'm in the
public.
public eye in my
Yeah,
reputation. I've got a business, and so can you just clear this shit up for me? But he's so spiteful, he
yeah,
has to like dig it in and be like, well, if I'm not with you, I'm going to screw your life over,
yeah.
and I'm
But
happy.
I could have told her that.
Like,
Like she, that's why she was scared to break up with him as well, and that's why she was crying because she knew that he would do something like this. Like deep down,
yeah.
she knew it. And she knew that everyone would turn against her as well, like all the southern
But she was
class
saying all that
would turn,
crying.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
That's why
but
she
she
was
knew
crying on
deep
the
down.
bed that
But
oh.
the thing that she was most upset about, that she knew that he was going to do this to her. Like she obviously knew it inside her that he wasn't going to behave well, because she's seen him behave terribly the whole time that she's been together with him. Like yeah, so you know what you're going to get at
Even
the end of
in,
the day.
was it in Winterhouse or when he was acting like a nut?
Yeah. Do you remember
Yeah.
he was like, "I'm not going to clean anything. You're a peasant or
Oh yeah,
something. You
yeah.
can
I
do
don't
it." Remember?
clean.
I don't clean. And then she was like
I
looking
pay
at him like
people to
that.
do this for me.
Yeah.
So
And
gross.
he threw money at people as well. Do you remember?
He's
That
a
was so
gross
disgusting.
person.
Yeah.
He's gross. So then Paige says that she's dating. Oh, Andy also notices that she will never say
Yeah.
Craig's name ever again. So she
Yeah.
says, "Yeah, I'll never say his name again."
Yeah. Good
Paige
riddance.
is said she's dating but nothing serious. And then
Yeah.
Andy asks Jesse, just for Lexi's benefit at the end, "Oh, Jesse, any plans to
Oh, God,
try it
that's
with
gross.
Paige next year?" And he's like, "I don't have any plans, but yeah, I will." So Lexi
Yeah, but that was
does not
gross.
want to hear this, and everyone starts
Yeah,
laughing.
but
You
that's
get
what
it?
they do. They're doing it so that they can catch her reaction and everything. And also, these people like to like bully her in that way as well. So you know, that's what it
Yeah.
was. That's what it was. And then
Um.
I think that's the end, isn't it? Basically.
Yeah. Paige basically. Then they just basically. This is what made me feel like she was going to leave, is because Andy was like, I can't believe how much you've grown, like you've done so well. And he asks Amanda, like, are you really proud? And she was like, yeah, it's making me emotional, da, 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 which I don't really get why she was crying about
Yeah.
it.
That was the end.
And then they toast to the breast milk with breast milk.
Oh yeah, that was gross.
That's
And he kept like tricking Carl, like, no, actually, it is.
It is,
He kept
and
tricking
it is.
everyone. Yeah, yeah. And that was just a bit
Well, there was
annoying.
no need for the back and forth.
I just don't feel like it was fulfilling this reunion. It wasn't. It was like such a quick, like cop out of a reunion. I don't feel like it was like he didn't really go into anything. They didn't go into any of the issues that the
But
audience wanted to know about. Like, and it was just very like fragmented and like
no, but
didn't make any sense.
I think this reunion represents the season itself. Like, I think all the storylines were like really irritating. Amanda and Kyle's storyline was irritating. Jesse and Lexi like it got irritating after a while.
But they could have at least brought Emrul back into Toast to say bye.
Yeah, they could have.
Yeah.
But I think I think next season's going to be interesting. I wonder what they do. Listen to me. Listen, man, about my thoughts on Martha's Vineyard people coming in. Drop them in.
Yes.
Get them in. Get them in a mix.
Comment and let us know. Comment on this podcast and let us know if you agree with Mimi's plan of like merging Summer House, Martha's Vineyard, and this Summer House together and making a show out of that, and or like just making that the new Summer House, basically. So let us know in the comments below, and we will talk to you guys really soon. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Oh, don't forget to also, before we go, don't forget to also subscribe to this podcast and share it with all your friends and family. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.